Hey there, here are some tips I picked from completing hard mode a few times on this really nice RPG. First of all, here are my Kai powers of choice: Healing, Mind Blast, Weapon Skill and Camouflage. If you already checked the guide, you might be surprised to see I picked Camouflage over Sixth Sense, so I'll explain my choices. Healing is the most obvious choice as it recovers both HP and stamina and is extremely powerful in any situation. Mind Blast is not only a very useful spell that will stun most enemies, making crowds more manageable, but it will also shield you from that spell when cast by enemies. Weapon Skill increases damage and removes stamina cost for attacks for a while, making it much better than the Wolf in my opinion. Finally, Camouflage is for me probably the best spell in the game as it comes with many advantages. For the whole duration of the buff, you have 100% evasion rating, 100% hit rating, and 100% crit rating. So with just one spell you will always dodge, hit and crit whenever you cast it. That also guarantees crit counter attacks, crit range weapon attacks, and crit Summer's Word attack. It's an insanely powerful burst ability while being defensive at the same time. I strongly suggest to try it out, it's a real RNG buster. As far as stats is concerned, I put the emphasis on intelligence, especially in the beginning, since being able to use your powers a lot makes things much easier. I tried to keep a good balance between stats and aim for about 5k HP, 3k Kai and 3k stamina. For my weapons, I use a sword and a shield. The sword has quick and damaging strikes, while the shield is extremely useful for defense and crowd control. It allows you to stun an enemy for free pretty much every turn, and you can end your turn with the defensive posture, which guarantees dodges and counters. It also gives you a chance to block and add stats such as more life and Kai. Of course other setups would work, this is just my personal preference, but I can guarantee this setup works. My strategy revolves around dealing as much damage as possible while Camouflage is activated, while covering my defense with crowd control and dodges. In the beginning, simply using Camouflage and dealing as much as you can and using Wolf's Resilience with your shield to dodge attacks works pretty well. Once you start having much more Kai to spare, you can even combine Camouflage and Weapon Skill for maximized damage output. You can burst with infinite stamina, increased damage, and guaranteed hit and crit chance. Don't forget that you can also use daggers or crossbow during Camouflage to also deal critical damage. As for defense, you have two stuns to work with, the Wolf's Charge and the Mind Blast, and always use Wolf's Resilience at the end of the turn whenever possible to stay safe. The amount of damage you can deal right from the beginning of a battle while staying safe is pretty high, and you can rely on healing and your shield to survive until you get to your next opportunity. Even the final boss on hard is pretty easy with that setup. Hope you get to play this fun game if you like RPGs. Feel free to share your own personal setup, it's always interesting to see different strategies. Till next time!